Hello, welcome to our digital learning team webinars. My name is Chelsea Cody, and today we're going to be talking all about blasting off beyond the basics with Seesaw. We're going to go ahead and get started, and everything that you'll need for today is within the Canvas course. So let me go ahead and start by walking through what all we'll be doing today, our goals, and getting you into that course. So first thing is our goals. Those are exploring Seesaw as a student. So yes, I'm going to have you join a class as a student so you can experience it just like your students do. We're going to enhance your Seesaw tips and tricks toolbox because Seesaw is already amazing and there's so many things you can do. But adding one little tip or trick at a time is really what's going to make you a pro Seesaw user. We're going to get you behind the scenes and look at a couple of things you can add. And then we're going to level up your Seesaw activities. So things you're already doing well, you might be grabbing things from the Seesaw library, the community, but we really want to bring up what you are already doing well. So if you have not already, we want you to join our Canvas course. We're going to do this for two reasons. At the end of the training, we want you to be able to see the form for the credit. So if you've attended any of our other webinars or you're watching them, we want you to get that credit for what you are doing. That's embedded within the Canvas course. And you can see our other resources and webinars there too. Here's what that course looks like. From our homepage, you'll be able to click on Seesaw Blast Off Beyond the Basics, which is what we're talking about today. You will see the presentation, be able to click through with me, and then anything else that I need you to interact with is right here within our Canvas course. So now that we've gotten you into the Canvas course and we've explored our goals, let's dive in. So just like I said, I want you to experience this as a student. Now, if you are watching this recorded, this is very important. You're probably going to want to email me, so Chelsea Cody, and say, hey, I'm starting out the Seesaw course. Can you give me a new code? And here's why. If you have students join with a code, it resets every 7 days. So next time I do this webinar, I will have a new code, so on and so forth. Right now, the code is up there, but in 7 days, it'll be different. You are joining with a code, which is different than what your students are doing if you're using the synced account, because you're not automatically added to classes. So you're still going to sign in with Google. We'll go through how to sign in, but you're going to use a code. It's really important that if you already have Seesaw open and you're signed in as a teacher, sign out. And go to app.seesaw.me/pound/login. Okay, the reason that you're going to sign out is because we're going to have you join this time as a student. And you really interact with it differently as a student than you would as a teacher or as an administrator. When you get to that Seesaw login page, you're going to click I'm a student and then sign in with Google. Once you have clicked sign in with Google, you're going to enter this code. If you've never signed in as a student before, it'll have a blank page. It'll say enter code. You'll click enter code and put it in. If you've already participated in as a student in somebody else's course, you'll want to click up in the left-hand corner. There's a cog profile. You'll click there, and that is where you will type in the class code. This is also where you're going to be able to toggle back and forth between student, teacher, administrator, so on and so forth. It looks just like this in the top left. If your student is in multiple classes, let's say you've got a student who's in your general ed class, and then they're also going to dyslexia, or they're going to speech, or a class outside of yours, this is actually how they move between multiple classes. As long as they're signing in with their Google account, they're not having to scan and use a code or anything like that. That's why signing in with your Google is so beneficial for these students. It also allows their journal to be connected to their name from year to year. So it's almost like an archive of all the learning that they've done over the years. Just think about if they're using this for multiple years, how nice it is to be able to go back and see their growth. Okay, hopefully you're now in as a student. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to make sure you get in. Here is that code one more time, XYWB-SNUV. Now remember, as we're going through this webinar, if you have any questions, use that chat. Use that chat. You can see it pop up. I can respond to those questions in real time. All right, let's start off with our first big topic of the day, Who's excited? Woo! We're going to talk all about folders. So folders are really beneficial in Seesaw because it allows you to filter work and organize your work. So if you're already creating activities, this is just one little extra step that may help you grade by content. Normally in Seesaw, if we're posting content, it will post from recent at the top and then older on the way down. So if our students are working on something via the schedule, if I've scheduled something, the most recent post will be at the top. That's not an issue for students most of the time because they might scroll to look for the thing. But if you're wanting them to be able to filter, hey guys, go to the math folder. Hey, go to the reading folder. Go to our stations. Okay, they can click on certain folders and it will eliminate those extra assignments. You'll see within the Canvas course, if you're looking at this presentation, there are resources, a how-to and a video that walk you through how to use folders. When you add an activity to a folder, you can filter on both the journal and the activity view. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Seesaw so that you can see this in action. In my Seesaw account, I already have some activities that I've created. So I'm going to go to my activities tab, and you can see I've got a folder over here to the side. So right now, all of my activities are in this Level Up Your Activities choice board. You'll see what that is here in a minute, but you can see I've got a folder on each of these. If I wanted to add another activity from my library, I'm going to go ahead and add an activity from our library. If you're watching this and you're like, how did you get to the school and district library? You may not be connected to your campus. So let me know, we'll reach out, we'll get you added to your campus. I'm going to go ahead and assign this to my demo class so that you can see exactly what this looks like. So now you notice there's no folder down here, and this looks like a math lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to a folder. I'm going to edit my folders on the activity. And right here, I'm seeing, oh, I don't have a math. I only have reading or level up. So I'm going to create a folder, and this time I'm going to call it math. Then I can choose a color. If you're one of those teachers that in your classroom, you already have an organizational pattern going, and you're wanting that to continue for your students, so maybe math is red, you could choose red. And now there is a digital folder for math. And then when I have that little click there, it's green, or the green check is there. It's now going to be added to the math folder. So as a teacher and as a student, you know, your journal view is all of the student work coming in real time. It might be from 20 different assignments, but it's in real time. If I want to be able to look at just the math work, all of the math posts will show here on the journal. Same if I go to, and you can see it says math, activities. And if I'm in activities and I click math, I will only see the work that is for math. Now for me, because I don't want this to be here next time, I'm going to go ahead and delete this activity, but the folder will stay. You can also manage your folders under your settings. It's going to take me a second. Manage folders, and then I can remove or add extra folders. So you can add folders before there's ever activities there. Again, I really like being able to grade by a certain subject or a content or an activity because it makes it easier for me to grade. If I'm just going post to post to post to post to post, I'm having to switch in my mind. What did I do for that? What are my expectations? What was the grade? And I'm trying to work through everything. Same thing. That's the difference between our journal and our activity there. Journal is going to be post, 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 whereas activity will be whole activity chunks. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this folder. I'm going to go to the one we'll be using today. All right, folders, how do we feel? So I want you to take a second, go to your Seesaw course, and add a folder. Even if it's just one, into one activity. Go ahead and take a second to do that. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and check our chat, make sure we don't have any questions. In our chat, I'm going to go ahead and give a poll. Okay, the poll is going to ask you, are you just watching or are you finished? If you're just watching, how are you participating today? If you're just watching, you can click watching, but this is going to let me know how much longer we need on this activity. Oh, I'm seeing a whole lot of finished, couple watchings, couple more. Okay, and that is everybody. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next little tidbit. My next blast off tip for you is the Reflect with Seesaw. Now, this is especially powerful for students because it allows you to use, to reflect, to take a screenshot and then automatically go into an activity. So just like when you're on the phone, you can, add a picture or a video to a response. This is a really quick and easy way for your students to grab something they've been working on and put that in Seesaw. Let's say they're creating on another website, something like that. Without having to do a lot of steps. So first thing you would want to do is go to the Chrome web store, and this extension is actually in our self-service. So this can be added. It's right on my window. It's a little seesaw icon, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually go to our slide deck for today and use this. When you click on the extension, a window pops up that says capture visible area or capture selected area. I'm going to model the selected area for you. And once I have that capture, because I'm already signed into Seesaw, look at what it is doing. It's preparing a post. I already have whatever I was working on put into a post. I can go ahead and approve it. I can write on it. I can still draw on it, add my pictures, everything, but this is now part of the post. I can even resize this post. So let's say you're working with students on something like Jamboard or something like that, and you want them to come back and put it into their post. I can choose which class I want to post this to. And as a teacher, this can be beneficial for you as well, because that post will now, I'm going to leave it open. That post will now show up in your Seesaw class. So a variety of ways that you can use this, but that's just a really quick walkthrough of that Reflect in Seesaw extension. I want you to go ahead and explore that yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and post that poll one more time. So that poll is posted. Okay, so you're just going to add that extension. That's good. That's fine. You can always come back and play with it later. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my classroom while you're doing that so we can see if it's already posted. And it was a post, so it would be in the journal. And it has not posted yet. Oh, there we go. It was still processing. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, yay. Now my Seesaw student has a little post. You could use this as a teacher as well. If you're looking at student work and you want it to be something that could be viewed easily by your parents, let's say your parents are engaging with your Seesaw class. Maybe there's something they created on another website. It wasn't necessarily linked in Seesaw, but you wanted to be able to show it. This could be something in parent-teacher conferences. You saw that I posted it just to the sample student, but it could be posted to other students. So I could have a folder that says parent-teacher conferences. I quick take that screenshot, post it in, then the parents can see it. Just another example there. And it looks like most everybody is wrapped up working on the extension. So let's continue. Our next little tidbit for the day is talking all about pinned posts. So you just saw that I made a post. Did anybody notice when you joined our Seesaw classroom today, what was at the top? Let's take a look. You're right. There is a post pinned at the top. So me as a teacher, we're not going to walk through exactly how to make this today, but I was able to pin a post to the top of the journal. And if you see all of my students over here to the right, they all have one item. They haven't submitted anything. When I pinned and post this post, all of my students were getting this post. If they were to click on it, there are links out to helpful documents for them. What I did was design the background in a Google slide, and then I came in and put in the links. And then you can choose whether for the link to be a image or just a link just like this. So if my students needed to get a hold of me, maybe they're going to message me from Twitter, okay? They can come in and they can interact with these links. All right. This is kind of what that looked like. Okay, I came in and I designed this layout. I went to my slide. I'm gonna actually model this. File, download as an image, which will download just that slide. And then on my activity, I uploaded that image and I made it in place and locked that image. So then anything else that I put on top of it, that's exactly what it looked like. I could see this being a place where students are able to interact with different important links very quickly. It could be a place where you have your schedule for the day, especially if you have virtual students that are struggling with what times to get where, and maybe you have those posted in Canvas already. We'll just take a screenshot of what's in Canvas, put it up into Seesaw and as a post and pin it. Okay, you can pin your post into Seesaw. You could take a screenshot using the Reflect and Seesaw, post that activity to all of your students, and then when you come in, click those three dots, click pin. Yours would be pin. This one is going to be unpinned because it's already pinned. All right. This is what I want you to practice this time. Let's practice looking at that three dots and finding the pin on a post on a journal. Just beware, you can pin for all students. So if you pin another student's activity post, it will pin for all your students. You'll see that go into their journals. Do we want to make sure they're not seeing everybody's work? I'm not going to post my poll on this one. I'm just going to assume that you guys were able to do that pretty quickly. Okay, this is my favorite portion of the day today. With our last about 10 minutes, we are going to do a choice board because we know it is awesome for our students to be able to move through things as a choice. Okay, have some choice in what they are learning. Everything is beautiful here. You're going to learn a lot, but it doesn't matter to me which one you choose. It's which one stands out to you. Okay, before we get into the activity, I'm going to explain the landscape of this, and then we're going to go into my expectations. So first, you see this is a choice board. It looks very similar to our learning menus that you may be using with your students. There are 5 different activities that you can choose from here. There's Seesaw activities. So there is embedding instructions, interactive gifts, so it talks about how to create them, where you can get them. I even have templates for ones that I've pre-made. We have scratch off activities, hidden and reveal activities. You can drag around different things and they reveal different numbers. And then stations / choice boards, which will really go into how I did this and where I put it in Seesaw. Now, as a teacher, you have a little bit of choice. And remember, I said this is all about blasting off our Seesaw, going beyond the basics, but I really want you, as part of our goals, to experience this as a student. So think about that choice board, okay? Do you want to experience this on your browser? You could do it right here. You've already got Canvas open. You could click the links from there. It will take you directly to Seesaw. Do you want to do this on your mobile? Maybe this is something that you want to take some time to explore because you haven't really worked on Seesaw as a student on a mobile device. Okay, this would be the time. You can still sign in with your Garland account and all of that. And then secondly, you're going to think about where do you want to do your work? So one of the beautiful things that we can do in Google Meets now is breakout rooms. So I'm going to offer a breakout room to those of you that would like to work on your own. You see the choice board, you're like, I want to move through all of these activities, whatever pace I want. I don't want to be listening to somebody walk through them with me. I want to go self-paced. If you are one of those people that would like to be self-paced, you are going to put the number 2 in the chat. It's going to help me decide which group you're going to, so you're going to put a 2. If you want to stay here in the main room with me, I'm going to walk through how I made the choice board and some of the work that I did there. You will put a 1 and you'll stay here in the teacher led. So take a second, think about, you don't have to tell me if you're going to do it on a mobile or a browser. That is a personal choice. And you don't have to tell me, I guess you do have to tell me if you're going to do the teacher-led or the self-paced. So if you would like self-paced, put a 2, teacher-led 1, and I will get those breakout rooms. So think about that. While you're thinking, I'm going to go through this and how this would look if you're on a mobile device. So on the mobile device, remember, these direct links are not going to take you directly to the activity. So you're going to want to click on app.seesaw.me/class-app-redirect. So on your mobile, if you're going there now, open your Canvas, go to this course, open the slide deck. You'll click app.seesaw.me/class-app-redirect. Or you've already joined the Seesaw class, so you can go straight to Seesaw, sign in as a student, and then you are going to be looking at these images and the headers to help you find which activity you want to work on. Remember, we also added those folders, so you could be looking at just the level up your activities choice board to figure out which ones you want to look at. That's the only folder, but that's okay. All right, I see where everybody wants to go in the breakout rooms. Give me a second to go ahead and put everyone in those rooms. And then because we are running a little bit shorter on time, I'm going to go ahead and make these 7 minutes. And the breakout rooms are now open. If you'd like to go to your breakout room, all you got to click is join breakout room. And then at the end of those 7 minutes, you will come right back here and we'll wrap up. For those of you that are still here, we're going to go ahead and talk about these choice boards within Seesaw. So I am a little bit quicker at designing directly in Google Slides. I've worked with Google Slides. We had Google Classroom. I was really deep in Google Classroom and using all of the G Suite. And so I already have that in my toolbox. That's where I design. You could really design in any other program. You could design in Canva, a Google Drawing, wherever you feel comfortable. But as long as it's something that you can download and upload somewhere, that can be used in Seesaw. So you can upload images all the time. You can upload a background. So for the actual choice board, I designed all of the activities and then I downloaded this and then I can put my links on top of it. I'm going to go ahead and go and pull this up so you can see what I mean by that. So here are all of my choice boards right now. If I wanted to create, let me go ahead and open this. If I wanted to create more in this choice board, I can always edit my activity. I'm going to go ahead and edit the template. So here's where I was talking about. I can upload images from my slides into the actual choice board, make it a choice board template. So I want to be able to create a brand new one for my students. So I'm going to add a page, and just so you know, you can go back and watch this video later if you'd like. But we're walking through it right now. On the slide here, their Canvas, I can create an actual board. I can create groups, So I'm going to go ahead and actually, this would be way more organized if I have more time, but I don't want to spend the majority of my time making this look the most beautiful. I want to go ahead and talk about what all you can put in it. So in this case, I'm making a tic-tac-toe board. But you can see, even with just my mouse, I was able to create the actual tic-tac-toe spaces very quickly. I can change the colors. Okay, if I wanted my students to mark off when they are done with a spot, I can come in and find. Let's go ahead and do a dot. And I'm going to make it a different color. Let's make it green. And this is what they will drag over the space. Now, again, if I was really presenting this to students, my table would look a lot more beautiful. This is where they would drag. So I might have my little options down here. I'm going to make a whole bunch. Just duplicating these shapes right now. So there are things that they can drag. And then in each of these boxes, I would put an activity. So maybe one of my activities is going to a website. And one of my favorite websites is explore.org. Okay, they have live video of animals. So if I'm doing an animal unit, maybe that's one thing. I could add my little link here. I can add some text. Go to explore.org and watch the puppies. Okay, you can see now how I've got. Now, if I was a teacher, after I get all of my activities done, I probably would come in and do something like a video, record my video. Hi guys, make sure you're moving through all of these activities on our choice board so that you are ready to come back together with me in our teacher-led station and dive in deeper. And then I have my video. I might put a text here like, watch me first. And if you notice, actually all of the activities that I did for the choice board that you're doing, I have a slide where it says the directions, they watch the directions. I can even record over the slides. So I can record it, have that video in that goes through most of the slides. And then, this is so much more beautiful. And then I have the actual choice board for my students. Now, if I don't want students dragging items, so see how this item is draggable right now? I can lock items so they won't move. So on this board, I can lock these items because otherwise my students might come in and it might get crazy, but have these items unlocked. Actually, should have done these last so they would be on the front. But there you go. That could be that they marked it off. Okay, I could have some different choices here. And then when they're done, they will click that check mark. I'm actually going to delete this page. Even though it was a beautiful video, and I do love explore.org, that would be a much easier example using that side. So I just want to take you back really quickly to the activities page to show you all the different activities and just some of the templates and the layout there. So this template here, I have a video, I have resources, and they're working through that. I could have a choice board for my students, just like you guys did today, where it's different activities all within Seesaw, and they could all be able to access them, and then I would know which ones. If I assigned a whole choice board, right, I've got all these activities, but they don't need to do them all. I'm nervous I'm gonna have to track which students do what. What could I use again to organize all of the activities from one choice board in one place? You got it. I can use those folders. So I can drill down. I'm going to my activities. I just want to see the level up choice board. Then nothing else would be in here. All I'm looking at is the choice board. And where I might only have 2 or 3 for each choice, I can go through. If I told my students 3, I could have a little rubric, 1, 2, 3, return mark off one, return, mark off one, return, mark off one. That kind of grading. This is something that might be a really great idea for those stations. If you're starting to put stations into your teaching right now, you could have a template choice board that is your reading stations, what they're going to do at each station. The links are all in one place. You have the directions embedded on those pages. All they're doing is doing all of their stations from Seesaw. Even the teacher-led could be headed that way. Okay, I could have a choice on each slide. Hey, if you want to do this, go to slide 3. To do this portion, go to slide 4. Okay, my students could be moving. For our teacher-led, everybody, I want to see you on slide 5. Okay, guys, today we finished all of our stations. Go ahead and click the green check mark to turn in. Let's go ahead and wrap up today. Hopefully, you were able to accomplish our goals from today. Remember, we're working on that experiencing things as a student. We're working on leveling up our activities and building our toolbox. So in the chat, I'd like you to type 2 tidbits you learned. So 2 little takeaways, and then 1 thing that you would like to dive deeper into and try with your students in your class. Give you a second to get those reflections in. All right. Big thank you from me to you for all that you do to make education meaningful for our students in Garland, USA. Seesaw is a wonderful tool. It is so deep. There are so many things to learn. So if you have any questions, especially while you're watching this and participating, just let me know. Reach out, email digitallearning@garlandisd.net. We can talk about how to make it happen in your classroom. Again, in that Canvas course, on this page, you're going to want to click mark as done. And then after mark as done, you will see this Google form. And you want to make sure and fill this out so you get credit. Thanks again for joining. Can't wait to see you soon.